everybody. This is Micah Flood. I actually have a wonderful word that I was sharing with somebody, and someone was sharing with me. I've been going through a lot, actually. I believe that I've been being attacked in communication and family. I believe that everybody feels like it's the family, when in fact it's nothing to do with the family. It's the spirit of division, and it's Satan dividing, just like Paul and Barnabas. Who knows if they made up and they just went their separate ways and they made up for it? They made up, or they left in the flesh and in an emotion, and they actually decided to go and leave each other in anger. Well, the reason why Scripture says, "Do not let the sun go down in your anger." It should resolve things, or at least pray together, or say, "I forgive you," or not forgive each other, but at least say, I love you." Sometimes it takes time to forgive somebody, and it's okay to take time. But here's one word that I was coming up with my brother Jim across the street next door. We are ambassadors for Christ. We oftentimes enter in a conversation with our agenda, and we plan on telling the person that we're speaking to our agenda and converting them into that agenda. In that moment, a lot of times we do not give them the chance or the time to go and meditate on it and make sure it's actually from the Lord, because we don't know the words that we have are either from the Lord or not unless we get confirmation from the Word and from others. We also want to make sure in our communications that we treat each other with brotherly love and respect, that God creates a healthy boundary between your family and you and your friends and you that is a godly one, because there's got to be a gap between the flesh and the spirit. Oftentimes it's so fine we don't know where we're stepping over and where we're going. But pray that the Lord would widen that gap so clearly that we have no excuse. We're either in the spirit or we're walking in the natural. We're either in the spirit or walking in the natural flesh. And that's the truth. But the word that he and me were going over, and the revelation was coming by the Spirit, was that we are ambassadors of Christ. When an ambassador goes between two parties, he has no agenda. He is taking no side. His main goal, first of all, is for peace between the two parties. And that ambassador is like our relationship between God and earth. We are to make peace between man and God. That's the goal as an ambassador. We have no agenda. We are to go before like priests and pray for their souls and salvation, because we are afflicted by the same sin and the same life. I believe that is Hebrews 5. No, go and make sure, but it's Hebrews 5. We are priests in order of Melchizedek. I believe that's Hebrews 5, to be honest. So what I would say is, we are ambassadors, that we are supposed to go to each other with respect and revering another above our own. And we should not come into a communication or in a conversation with our opinion, with the goal of converting or telling another person he's wrong. Because it's not about who's right. Usually conversations can lead to that, where who's right in a conversation. Who's going to win? That's actually losing a conversation. That's actually both parties losing when you are in a conversation for who's going to win. It's not about who's right. It's about what's right. And if you have a discussion that turns into argument, you are letting the flesh and Satan come in and bring in the spirit of division, because he's right at the door in families with the spirit of division. We don't recognize it because we don't get close enough to see it, but he is keeping us at arm's length. So in communication, we come in and we got to not say who's right, but what's right. So we both go to the Scriptures, we bring up the Bible, we do our research, because we're serious about relationships with each other. We go and we pick up that Scripture and we bring it to each other and we read it in the guides of finding what's right, not proving our point, because we could do this too. If we still got the spirit of division, we'll come in and say, I'm right, let's go to the Scriptures and see who's right. No. That's not what I'm talking about. It's not about going to the Scriptures to prove that you're right, because that's also a lie from Satan. And then the next step in, I'm doing the right thing, but no, you're not. The truth is, you're going both to the Scriptures with the understanding that you're going to find out what's right. Not to go to scriptures topically and prove your point with 5 other scriptures, but to find the scripture that applies to what you're discussing and find out what's right. When discussions are made, we're not supposed to go in with the spirit of finding out that I'm right. When we have arguments with our spouses, we have arguments with our family, we're supposed to find the scriptures. We disagree with each other in respect, not disgust and flesh. But we go to the Word to find out what's right, not to find out that I'm right and prove that I'm right. If you have a spirit like that, nobody can serve you. Nobody can be underneath you because you are underneath nobody. Do you have a spirit of a servant? Do you have a spirit of an ambassador? Do you have a spirit of a priest? Because they're all the same thing. A servant and a priest serve others and go before for others' sake. And an ambassador, he's also serving others. And he puts no agenda of his own out there. He has no agenda. He may have an opinion. He may have some goal for peace. But that's the only agenda an ambassador has, is to make peace. So I would say to you right now, challenge yourself to not be of the world. And do not communicate like the world or like Satan would like you to do. Because he's targeting you to attack and divide. Based upon your revelations and your wisdom, based upon what you know, all that is meaningless. It is meaningless to the sake of peace and salvation. So our goal is not to convert, but it's to love and to make peace between man and God, and between brothers in the flesh and in the world, and in brothers as well in the spirit. So that's a word that the Lord gave me. I'm actually learning to write this week, and it's a huge deal because it's really going to change my way of communicating. You know, it's really going to help me create healthy boundaries between me and my family, between my friends, and bring in healthy relationships where there were none before. And one way that actually really helps relationships that are toxic in some aspects is encouragement. Go to the other person, find something valid about them that's beautiful in the Lord, and encourage them. Tell them that they got the potential. It's amazing the work that you see the Lord doing in them. And you'll see a change in your communication very fast. Anyways, God bless you guys. I hope you enjoy this. Take it to the Word. And whenever you have an argument, it's not about who's right. It's about what's right. And it's not about going and proving that you're right. It's about what's right. The Lord's way. God bless you. You guys have a wonderful evening. We'll talk soon.